Well, hello. Let me just lower this music a bit down. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, you should hear me, and the background music should really be background music. Let me just... Okay. Hi everybody. Sorry, technical difficulties. Unfortunately, looks like my OBS again is playing tricks with the YouTube and it cannot connect directly to the chat, but yeah, those are just some of the things that sometimes happen. Well, nice to see you all here. Okay, it's working, everything is working. So, yeah, wrong screen, no problem. So, today we will be talking about new changes in the update 2021.2. This is the February update of the Home Assistant, but we will talk about it just for a couple of minutes, and later on I will be talking about the current project I'm working. This is this GitHub page that you can see in the background. I was working on something before the stream, it's still open. And yeah, I have my project box here, and we will be talking about some other projects that I had in mind. So hopefully Lee will be joining us, because I hope that he will not be missing when I will be talking about the thermal printer. But first, as always at the start of the stream, let's just jump to the Home Assistant news. In terms of me as an end user, there were not a lot of changes or not a lot of additions that have impacted me. There are some. Let me switch. Okay. So yeah. I know that some of you have already tried the Z-Wave JavaScript version, and from the information I've seen, it's much faster, better, and working more reliably than the older version. So kudos to guys. Yeah, I don't know if it's sexy or whatever, but yeah, I believe it's working better than before. So first things first, there was another hiring at the Nabucasa. I'm not using Nabucasa, although I do think that I have connected it to my recording setup. I'm not really using it for anything. I'm a paying customer just because I think that I want to support my support that way. And hi Lee, I was just mentioning you a few seconds ago. So yeah, it's really great for them to be using those incomes coming from the Nabucasa users to hire additional workforce for the projects, because it gives not just a community support to the project, but also the main support, let's call it like that. This is something that you should not be concerned unless you are using the directly installed Home Assistant version. So Python 3.7 was dropped, and support for the Python 3.9 has been introduced. So yeah, but if you are using Home Assistant, if you're using Home Assistant OS, supervised or container, so any version of Docker container, that doesn't impact you because that is already embedded inside the Docker container itself. So we'll leave it as is. We already mentioned this one. Oh, I didn't check this one. It's not using MQTT, it's using WebSockets. So WebSockets should be faster to trigger, because they are directly talking with the Home Assistant, is directly talking with the devices or with the Z-Wave that way. So nice. Yeah, as I've mentioned, I've seen the comments that it's really fast, so that's really great. Okay, the old integration will stay, but is depreciated. So yeah, it will stay, but it will not be maintained and supported. Okay, nothing here. No more badges in auto. Yeah, I don't know if you are using badges. When I started using Home Assistant and Lovelace was still developing, I did have a couple of them, but I think that they're just clunky and they do not give you a real representation of what data you have here, so I'm not using them. So on the one side, if you are a brand new user, it helps because it populates more or less everything you have on the home screen, but also it just overwhelms. Oh, hi Bear, I haven't seen you a long time. Hope you're doing well. I'm still waiting for my new boards to arrive. Unfortunately, they are in the Liège. They're in Liège for 2 weeks or 3 weeks now. So yeah. DHCP discovery. I've seen that there is already patch for DHCP discovery because there were some issues with it, but it's also a good idea to try to intercept the how is it called? Just a second. Oh, Johnny, hi. So DHCP is working on a principle of advertising the presence or advertising the possibility. So it's really great idea that Home Assistant is listening in on this. So when there is a request for the IP address, it just listens and checks what type of device is. So yeah, it can help with the discovery of new integrations. Hi Christy, welcome. I don't know about you, I really love blueprints, but so far I used only once to test it, and I think it's fantastic. And I always said to myself that some of my automations I will convert to blueprints. For example, when I make a video of something that you can reuse it by just using that blueprint and selecting devices you have. But unfortunately, I really haven't used it so far. I don't know what's your opinion on that one. I really do think that it's great, but somehow, yeah. Hi Eddie, welcome. So Belgium, nice. Cloud text to speech. Okay, yeah. As I said, I had already subscription for Nabukasa and I didn't use it. The reason that I connected my recording setup with Nabukasa is I was trying to test the new languages here, and they are really great. Even the Croatian, which sounds awful on the Google Translate or Google TTS, it really sounds great here. But I didn't want to. I would simply love to use this as a functionality. I would simply like to use this as a functionality inside Home Assistant without Nabukasa needing to be there, or as a service, or even as a paid service that I could just pay to have, you know, text-to-speech service. But so that's why I'm not currently using it at my setup. I'm using it for test. I was using it for testing. I didn't use it for a month or two. I don't know the last time they introduced the language changes. But I like this to be able to configure it from within the Home Assistant, because previously, as they say, you had to go to the Nabukasa and configure there. So it's great. Hi Slacker Labs. No, you're not late. Hi. And hi Wally. Oh, Colorado. What time of the day is there? So let's quickly jump through everything here. Clear reason why live plays cards configuration is not supported. Okay, so some extra explanations probably. Shelly RGB devices. Oh, I'll talk about Shelly a bit later. I'm not using them. I will probably never use it. I don't want to use 10 a.m. Oh, good morning to you then. Yeah, it's late evening and the sun has gone down already, and yeah, I just wish for spring or summer to arrive, because the winter was not that bad, but I really wish it would be much more sunnier and warmer. Oh, Charlie, nice. You probably have no problem with the warmth currently, although you did have snowstorms in the States. So I will probably never use analog or pure RGB devices, red, green, blue devices. So I'm using only the digital LEDs. So I will never probably even test this device. And zoom to node ZHA network is. I really have. Okay, I promise that I will test ZHA. I have to buy something new for this Zigbee stick. I'm still considering what options are there. I think I will be going for the Deacon stick for the testing, and then, you know, try the ZHA, because I'm currently on the Zigbee to MQTT, and I hope that somebody will remind me to mention something about the Zigbee to MQTT, because there are some coming changes there. Deacons integration added, logging basics, blah blah blah. Nothing. Tasmota integration is out of beta. Good, awesome. I'm not using Tasmota. Added support for themes in media card. That's great. I know that a lot of people will be happy about this one. Items in shopping cart list can be ordered using drag and drop. That's nice. We will probably mention this also. Newly ignored discovery integrations now show a name of the item ignored. This makes it easier to undo it later. Okay, I don't know. Newly ignored discovered integrations now show a name of item ignored. This makes it easier to... Okay. Yeah, because probably you can have multiple devices and you can just select later on what you ignored by mistake. So Mike, you do not have any issues with the latency. I've read on a couple of threads somewhere on the internet that people had issues because ZHA is expecting a permanent non-interrupted blah 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 type of a connection, and this can sometimes lead to issues. Yeah, I know what you mean, Slacker Labs. The same thing happens to me. I go, straight, then decide, no, I will not wait, I will go left, and as soon as I go left, something happens on the right, and yeah. But yeah, you now have option. If you're not satisfied with OpenZWave, you can go the other way. That's great, Mike. That's great, really. Okay. New framework can detect significant changes. Okay, I've read about this one. This is for the Google Assistant and the one which we will not be naming. I do not have any one which will not be naming here. And this is one of the devices really I should get this year to test. To be honest, 10 years, 15 years, 10 years ago, I would say, I was buying a lot more stuff from the eBay or Amazon, and I had some issues, and I really forgot what those issues were. Yeah, I cannot remember why, but at one point I just stopped buying anything from the Amazon. I was going either directly to the shops, individual shops, or through the eBay. Then I started buying a lot more from AliExpress, and that's why I had some resent towards the Amazon, and that's why I never bothered to test even Alexa. So this is something really that I should be doing this year. Hopefully, if life doesn't pull me in another way, but I really do promise that I'll be paying more attention to Alexa and trying it a bit more and work some stuff with it too. Setting up Lutron Cassetta was quite a pain, but not anymore. Blah blah blah. One touch pairing, that's great. Fuse light profiles. What are light profiles? I'll check it. All parameters of light profile can now be optional and default profiles are always applied. Let me just check what are the light profiles. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know it's called like that. And how is it working for you, Johnny? I presume it's all okay. Tech Toys Backyard, no. Today I was in the evening, not in the evening, but early afternoon, I was sitting and thinking about the stuff that I will probably never do or record, and the Z-Wave was one of the things. I've selected to work on the Zigbee networks, and that's why I do not have any Z-Wave device. And although I do like variety, and a lot of stuff that I have is different manufacturers and different things like that, I opted not to have clutter in that range. So I was thinking if I will ever test anything on the how it's called, Z-Wave, and I'm not sure. There are a couple of things that I would like to test, but probably not yet. So I cannot help you with the doorbell. On the other hand, I'm currently, not currently, I'm working on that project in my head for over a year, and now I'm almost ready to start implementing it. So we will see. I'm working on the retrofitting my old doorbells to make them smarter, but it will be done over Wi-Fi. Yeah. Okay. I I have to agree with you that yeah, people have those problems, but for me Zigbee has been really great on the batteries. For example, my door sensor is now a year and a half, almost 2 years, and the battery is still running. My motion sensor is well over a year and the battery is still running. My uh, buttons around the kids' rooms are also over a year and the batteries are around 80%. So it really depends on the implementation of the device itself, I would say, and of course the usage of the device. So I would say that door sensor, temperature and humidity sensor, and the motion sensor from Xiaomi, they are, some are even over 2 years and still running great. So I've read that a lot of people had problem with the battery life, but you know, maybe I'm just a lucky one. Okay, drop down helpers, got some new service capabilities. It's call to jump to the first or last item. Nothing spectacular. Pan tilt zoom added for Foscom camera. New integrations are now. DHCP discovery, we talked about that one because it's up there. Z-Wave JavaScript edition. New platform Logitech Harmony Hub. Add support for switches for activities. Wheelight supports fans and Hyperion. Nice. This has been added so you can control it or install it through the user interface. And this has been the last release from 2 days ago, I think, or one day, yesterday on Friday. And there is a fix for the DHCP. Do not listen for DHCP packets if the filter cannot be set up. Yeah, so more or less nothing spectacular. There are some breaking changes, for example Python, as we mentioned. Tado also had breaking change. Yeah, Tado has moved completely to the user interface, so I got a couple of warnings. I did remove, but if you're using it as a device tracker, you still need to have it present in the configuration files. Roomba, Plex, Luton, MikroTik. I have to fix something is not working with my MikroTik. Network UPS tools, configuration only through the UI, which is no problem. And where is the MQTT? Okay, the MQTT is a funny one because a lot of people were thinking that the issues that started happening 1 day ago or 2 days ago were related to this, but unfortunately no. So yeah, let me quickly then jump to the MQTT thingy. So anybody who is not using MQTT as an add-on in Home Assistant, I'm using it as an add-on. I really had it for a long time as a separate container, but I moved it to the add-on 6 months ago, something like that. Yeah, it seems that same thing that happened with Grafana about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, happened with the MQTT. They released new version and implemented some enhanced security, and this enhanced security meant that almost everybody that was using MQTT had problems with it starting after the update or upgrade. So if you were using Watchtower to automatically update the container, yeah, the best fix or easiest fix was to roll back to the latest version working, which was 1.6 what something. But there is there is a way how to implement it, how to make it work even if you are using the newer version. You just have to specify listeners in configuration file and also allow something. There is a, on the Discord there is a post I copied from the YouTube where it says what you have to do inside the mosquito.configuration file on 2 places, and it should work. But on the other hand, I also seen a comment that some people didn't manage to fix it like that, so probably I will be releasing a new video next week on how to fix it or how to install Mosquito or MQTT inside Docker container with this new version. Yeah, okay, but we will see it. Okay, yeah, I've been talking a lot about this, so 20 minutes already. So let us jump now to something completely different. Yeah, I've teased about it a couple of times on the Twitter, and I was really happy to see so many people biting into this one. Oh, yeah, Pair, that is another option. And yeah, you will not have problem there because unfortunately the Synology package is so old. The version is, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years old, something like that. So you definitely will not have issues with that. I never, yeah, but also I want to say that even if it's old, it's really working great, and I was using it for a bit and I didn't see any problem with having such an old version. Of course, the security can be issue, but on the other hand, we usually have our systems closed, so that shouldn't be also that problem. Yeah. So I started working on one project. I've seen post somewhere on the community forum, and guy created something called Morning News, and it's a thermal printer that has also Raspberry Pi W Z or W, and sorry, Raspberry Pi Z or WZ, and he embedded in a box. I'll be showing it here. He embedded a printer, a Raspberry Pi, and made it in such a way that you would get switches and status inside Home Assistant, and every morning it would get the RSS feed and pull the news from that feed, and it would print you the newspaper in the morning. So the idea was great, but I wanted to do something similar, and I didn't want to use Raspberry Pi. Don't get me wrong, I do have one laying around, but I thought that it was just a waste of processing power to use it for that. So you would have nothing working for, I don't know, 23 hours and 58 minutes, and then in 2 minutes it would just print a piece of paper. It's a deal, Pair. I will be doing that. So I approached him and asked if it's possible to use, because he's connecting for his morning news, he's connecting the Home Assistant with the Raspberry Pi by using MQTT. So I asked him if it would be possible to use the MQTT as a feed, so you can push, topics towards the Raspberry Pi and read them and print them. And he said, sure, but you have to do it yourself. And everybody knows I'm no programmer. So yeah, I was searching there a bit more, and I found this here. This is the original author and his repository. So he just created some proof of concept, I don't know what, where you can hook up ESP8266 with the printer and then print anything that is sent via a specific topic to the MQTT, which is great. But it had one problem, and Per knows this problem because when he was working on a high-grow board and I was testing and helping him out, one of the first issues I had when he sent me the code, I said, no, it's not working for me because I'm using I have a protected MQTT, or I'm using username and password to log in to MQTT, and he was not using it. The same thing happened here, and thankfully, because Per fixed this, I was able to reuse the code, and I made a pull on this one. sorry, where is the pool? This one. I made a pool. I added the code to be able to authenticate yourself using the credentials. So you can use MQTT auth if you are using authentication there. But yeah, also the author said that he will be pulling that request and probably working on the code, and he didn't pull the request. As you can see, it's been sitting down for 17 months. So that's why I created this one, and although it is fork from the original project, it will be having its own life cycle. So everything more or less is the same, but I added here for HA because it will be primarily working with the Home Assistant. It can work with anything, so you don't have to have Home Assistant running. You can just have MQTT server. It will work with that, but my idea was to try to embed it inside the Home Assistant. So what I did, I started working on it, and this is a C++ and C, and I'm really no programmer, but what I was able to add here that the original author didn't add. So as I said, you now have option to use username and password, but I also added those two lines here, which enables you to select the size of the letters and also spacing between the lines. Why? Because it is by default small, but somebody may want to print with the medium or large text size. But what I had issues with is that the default value for the line spacing or row spacing is 32, and it was just a bit too much for me. Even with 24, which is a minimum value, it is still a bit too much, but unfortunately this is the limitation of the library that is being used here. So yeah, the general idea is to see if anybody will like this project and if anybody will also help with the things that we can do here. So some of the things, as I said, this is the type I'm already working on. It's currently working, but there are all the other options here that you can add. You can inverse the text, so you can print white text on the black background. You can double the height of the words. You can justify the text to the left, center, or right. You can print bold, underline text, things like that. You can print barcode. You can also print the bitmaps, but it requires a little bit of fiddling, so I didn't do anything there. And the general idea is that if people will like this project, probably there will be somebody who is much better in the C or C++ who can help and grow this, because currently I'll show you how it's working, and it's really simple, and I really do like idea. And if Lee is still here after my 30 minutes of talking, I will be talking on how you can use it and why I use it. I showed it yesterday on Twitter. Yeah, it's for yeah, commenting on Twitter, something like that. But there are really tons of things that you can use it, and I have some upgrades even here. When I talk about upgrades for the thermal printer, I know that people will think that I'm crazy, but really there are some options on using upgrades here. So let me turn the camera on. No, the second camera, not the first camera. Okay. So as you can see, this is the printer now. I'm using box from the morning news. Printer is inside, and here, let me just pull it like this. This is the ESP. So you really have to have printer. These cables arrive with him, and you have to connect power to the printer, power to the ESP8266 board, and also connect, transmit and receive pins from the printer to the ones on the ESP, and that's it. You flash the firmware. In the firmware you first set up the SSID, and you set up the SSID, and you also set up the, how it's called, password for the SSID, the IP address of the MQTT server, and that's it. Nothing else to do. So it's really simple. And how it looks, how it works is, let me jump here. Let me jump to Home Assistant. For the testing purposes, I did create, yeah, it really is, and I love, because it will, everything will fit inside this box. I have additional project that I want to add to this, because you now have to have wires. If anybody's on the Discord, he may have seen my cries about the JST connectors, but I'll come back to that a little bit later. My breadboard. Okay, the power was down, so it's now printing. Printer starting. Host name is the thermal printer. It will now say connecting to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi connected. MQTT connected, and that's it. Okay, and if you want to print something, you go to services, select MQTT publish here, type the topic. This is a topic where the stream will be sent, but this is also the topic that this printer is listening via the ESP, and just give here the payload. This is the message. So welcome to the stream. Nice seeing you here. Call service and look at the response time. 3, 2, 1. And it's printed. Message received. Welcome to the stream. Nice seeing you here. So there are a couple of things that are still problematic, and it will work. Everything will work. There are a couple of things that I would like to improve. I will be releasing video about it, so not next week. Next week will be video about the MQTT, Docker MQTT, I hope. I'm saying this with the presumption that I will not have some catastrophic failure somewhere. So in 2 weeks I will be releasing video. It will be a complete tutorial, how to connect it, what to do, what are some things that can be improved, how you can work on it, what I have tested, what you have to be careful. For example, in my notification engine, if anybody has seen my GitHub repository, I'm using notification engine, which is really a script that is being called by the other automations inside Home Assistant, and by the variables inside that call, it is selected on where the message will go. So it can be either to me personally, to couple of family members, all family members plus Telegram, plus Discord, plus text-to-speech and things like that. So I've added this to this notification engine. Hi, Smart Maker. So I've added this to my notification engine in such a way that every notification I have in my home that is sent either to direct family members. So there are messages that I do not receive but other family members receive. This is more or less related to the Wi-Fi connections for the kids. But so any message sent by my Home Assistant was printed, and I left it during the night. So from around 10 o'clock till about 8:30 in the morning. And I used almost all the paper I had in the printer because there were so many messages. I still have paper there somewhere to go through the messages to check and see if there are probably some messages I can remove and shorten the conversation. But so the general idea was to test if there are any problems. I've seen that, for example, if you are sending the emojis. Oh, Bebach, yo. You guys are really having fun time. Yeah, so anybody who's missed, we last year at the 28th of December and 29th of December had earthquakes. On the 29th it was really scary here, but the epicenter was in Petrinja. So yeah, hope you're doing okay. So as I was saying, why did I buy it? Because I've seen it and I really loved it at the first sight. I know that I will always find some kind of a weird reason to have it. I know that, yeah, most of us don't need a printer, but as a novelty thing, it's really great. The sound it emits, the paper that goes out, the types of the messages you can push. Some of my ideas, for example, yesterday we were chatting on the Twitter or talking on the Twitter, and Jeffrey said something, and I printed the reply using the printer, recorded how the paper is going out. Yeah, I bet. I bet. Yeah, I really hope that you all are okay. Yeah, because it was really not fun there. Every day it's still shaking there in Petrinia. So yeah, yeah, I'm really thinking a lot, and I want to go. My aunt and my grandma were living in Glina before the war. They after the war they sold the house there. So I spent there a lot of time as a kid, and I really wanted to go and check out what happened to the house, because I know that house was devastated in the war, then rebuilt. Then I really want to go and see what's going on there, because yeah, it's not fun. Back to this. So one of the ideas I was thinking was to make some kind of automation that would enable you to write something in a chat here during the stream, or something on a Discord, and it would print the message to myself. Yeah. It did stop running. Okay. So just before the stream I got 2 notifications. My dishwasher stopped working and my washing machine stopped working. I always forget to disable recording automation. So I had for a year automation that would notify me on any airplane passing above my head. And it was really annoying, because sometimes something happened and it stopped working for a couple of days, and then after about a month it would just start spamming. Okay, no problem. Just take care. So my automation for airplane notifications one night, just at 2 a.m. started, spitting notifications every 10 minutes about all the planes that are flying, I don't know, in range of 100 kilometers. It's really annoying. The same thing happening here for the dishwasher. So I have my main setup and I receive notification. It's okay. But I also have recording setup, and for the recording I usually lower the thresholds, meaning that I get more notifications, because sometimes I want to catch those notifications and also show them on the recording. So yeah, so my dishwasher. Back to this printer. Okay, I said there is an upgrade. I bought myself last week. This is the back. Well, this is the back side for the printer, and it's now disconnected. My connections. Okay. So when I ordered printer, I ordered spare paper because I knew I will be playing with it. Nice. But I also ordered this. This is thermal sticker paper, meaning that those are stickers. And it's really fun thing. So the general idea is for this project to be able to integrate it with Site Home Assistant. In the Home Assistant, then you can, for example, do things like log me. For example, I have utility meter tracking daily usage of electricity divided by the time of the day when there is a sun and time of the day when the sun is below horizon. So in theory, I could create, and every midnight I received notification from the system on Telegram saying that today the electricity usage was this and this. So I could print that on that printer. Now it goes in a CSV file, but I can also have it printed. Then of course I could have this connected to my cameras. So I have face recognition now, still working with the face box, and whenever a face is detected I could print that information there. Third option is I've also started working on the shopping list. I don't know where I will be going with that, but I can make it in such a way that anytime I need something added to the shopping list, this is also printed on the printer. Or when I want to go to shop, I press the button somewhere. This is still not implemented. I'm just talking now of various options. So for example, shopping list, you add here bunch of items, Oh, you don't see anything. Let me switch the camera off. So you add a couple of things to your list. This is not grossy. This is gross. Oh, sorry, this is shopping list. It's not gross. So yeah, I'm still not sure if I will be going in the direction of grossy or shopping list or something completely different. And I'm really sorry. I was following a couple of directions or a couple of threads on the community posts, and there were some initiatives to improve internal shopping list inside the Home Assistant to be able to do here tasks and various other things that would be more flexible. But yeah, so I will be testing grossy, I will be implementing it, but probably I will not be using because it's just overwhelming. We had a chat about it on the Discord server, and you know, grossy has everything, but the question is, if you go, we usually go once a month to buy a lot of stuff. Whoa, my Elgato Stream Deck lost connection with the light. Aliens are 5G chips. Sorry. When you go to monthly purchase, which I usually do, yeah, really, that's it. You can use this to print really anything. It really depends on your usage. So if you would be using something simple as a shopping list, you can just press a button and print everything you have on a shopping list. If you go out, you're outside of your home, maybe you want to have a visible log of motion activity in your garden or front door or whatever. So it doesn't have to, it can notify you, yes, but if nothing happens, you can just come home and see, oh, okay, so there were, I don't know, 5 times the triggered motion in 1 hour in my back garden. Let's check cameras if I can see anything on the cameras. I have cameras running everywhere, and I do not check the footage. I check the footage if something happens, and usually nothing happens, so I don't go and look at that footage. So this can be, for example, as a filter to show you something. Then, as I said, I was thinking to connect it to the Discord and the chat here, that maybe some action you do here would print paper here, or you know, something like that. So you know, you can send me messages on a paper via Discord. By adding this, adding this, and camera is off, adding this, by adding these, you can make stickers. I really do not know why would you use stickers with this, but there is an option. So I know that I will probably get another one. Don't tell my wife. So I will probably be testing another project for my kids to see if she can use this printer without MQTT and without Home Assistant, connected to her laptop, and to use it as a sticker printer. But we will not be talking about non-home automation usage. For home automation, really, you can use it as, you know, how nuclear power plants have those log engines, and usually those are the how it's called, matrix printers with the dots, you know, printing every status change in a reactor, every action that was taken. How it's called, log printers. Yeah, log printers. You can make this a log printer of your home, of your automation, of the. You can print every morning before you go to work, or when you wake up, when the morning routine starts. You can use it to print commute information if you have this information inside Home Assistant, news information, weather information, schedule if you have connected Google Calendar or any other calendar to it. So really, there are tons of options, tons and tons and tons of options. So I really saw it as a stupid. With today's mobile phones, really, you do not need it. I'm sure that everybody will agree that you will not need it. But having something like this is really fun. You know, when guests come, you can print them Wi-Fi barcodes on that, so they can scan it. Definitely, it is, because let me kill the camera. Okay, same here. You can. I said I said the main usage for me was for the home assistant, but you can connect it to anything. It has a USB port on the backside, so you can really plug it inside any computer and have a printer. 5.8 centimeter or 58 millimeter thermal printer. And I said the best thing is that there is a stickers for it. So yeah, you can do really anything. Mind you, let's just check. So this is the normal paper. Okay. And these are the stickers. You see how much less of a paper you get with the stickers than with the normal paper. Just take that into consideration. For the kids, you can print something and stick it somewhere, and they have a remote with a picture of remote or whatever. So I know it's really stupid, but it's always fun to have such stupid projects. So what I was saying, okay, automations. So let's go to configuration. Let's go to automations. My watch is telling me to exercise. I've been sitting too long. Add automation. Empty. So for example, event. BeardedTinker. No, let's not do it like that. Let's do it like device. Motion. I have motion sensor. And here I just add call service mqtt publish. How it's topic, and topic is printer thermal, payload, motion detected, and that's it. The automation is done. So really you can use it for anything. You can add this anywhere inside your automations. You can if there is a log inside the log file, pull it. I know that I've done it here. I didn't do it, never did it through the user interface, but you really can do it anything with it. It's really simple. Okay, so for this I really would need support from anybody who knows how to work with the C++ or something. My additional idea was to improve on it. So for example, as it is currently now waiting for the it is currently now looking for the whole payload, but in theory you can do payload, I don't know, size small, underline yes, title my title, and body whatever. So in theory, if you do it like this, if it's implemented like that, you can divide the payload by the specific, how it's called. It's not topics. Topic is the one above. I forget how it's called in MQTT. So it would then read, oh, I need to print it in a size like this. It has to be underlined, and the title will be this. And I know I have to I know I have to format title as bold or larger text or whatever. So there are possible improvements here, and I really think that this project can be interesting. As I said, hi Jose. So I really think that this can be used in multiple ways, but unfortunately my programming skills are non-existent. I will be working with it, and the code is available publicly. I can even post the link here. Just a second, if I remember how it works. Oh, I hate it. Believe it or not, but I'm not logged in currently. Yeah. Let's say it like this. So yeah, that's what I'm currently playing with. Let me just sip a bit of whatever this is. Okay, enough about thermal printer. Let's look at my box. I don't know if Per is here. Okay, what I have here. You probably will not be able to see it. So let me pull it out of the bag. This is a charge controller used for charging the lithium-ion batteries. I think I didn't release. No, I didn't release that video. Still, I don't know when it will be released. It's mail day video. I know that people hate mail day. Okay. Yes. Hi Per. Bye Per. And I just wanted to show you, but you probably already gone. Couple of batteries. 12 batteries. So why I bought those charge controllers is okay, then you see my I now have stock of batteries, if nothing else. No boards, but batteries, yeah. So I bought 4 small solar panels. I have some somewhere there. I think I showed them even previously. There are 2 types. One is a bit smaller and one is a bit larger, and they should all be providing about half a amp of power. And I also bought 2 charge controllers. This one is smaller than I was expecting. I also have bigger ones, and I will be using. Oh, you do? Then yeah. People hate it. You will not believe how many people hate it, and the thumbs down and everything. So I was even thinking of canceling them. But I love them, and I love really watching videos when people do mail day, because a ton of stuff in my shopping cart on the AliExpress is from other people's videos. For example, this UV glue, which somebody tipped me off, but I also seen it, for example, on Juliet's. He has great videos. So I have 2 types of charge controllers, 2 types of boards, and I wanted to test each type of the charge controller with each type of board. And the idea is that if you are having the ESP8266 or ESP32 projects, that you would be able to make them self-sustained, meaning that you would not need external power. So for example, for the NFC tag reader, for this printer, no, because it's simply pulling too much power. It needs to have stable 2 amp power supply. But for the high-grow boards, yeah, they would be big, but then you could have, for example, watertight housing for the board, solar panel on top, and it would be recharged. You would not need to charge the batteries. So there are really a lot of possibilities for that, and I really wanted to test what are the options in terms of solar panels, what can be the smallest solar panel that gives you, what is the smallest solar panel that gives you enough electricity so that even during the cloudy days, let's say it like that, you would still have enough power for one whole cycle of ESP8266 or any Arduino project usage. So this was my general idea for that. Yeah, that's why I got some couple of charge controllers. Then funny thing happened is that a lot of mail that was lost, so I do not I get almost all the packages I ordered, but I didn't get batteries for high-grow. This is the first package. I think that there were 2 batteries inside. This was missing. Then I ordered the ESP01 module with the programmer, and it was lost in the mail. Then I ordered, cannot forget what it was, something that you really need only one, and the packages were lost. I put a claim on them, open dispute, got my refunds back, reordered the items, new items arrived, and now the old lost items finally arrived. So there is a package in the period of 7. Oh, sorry, my monitor will go down. In the period of 7 days, I received 2 lost packages. One package I received was ordered in May last year. Other one was ordered in August. and there was a third package that was somewhere between those two dates. So packages that were supposed to be, that the dispute was closed for more than half a year ago, finally arrived. To be honest, I really did approach every seller, and one seller did send me paying information, so I paid him because I did receive package at the end. The other two never responded back. I'll probably contact them one more time. If they do not respond and do not want to get money for the lost package, that's their problem. But funny thing is that now this is why I now have so many batteries. This is why I now have duplicate ESP01S boards with the programmers, which I only read one, which was only for the test purposes. Okay, and I think I have something else, but I cannot remember what. Also, let me go through this. No. Oh, yes. I got this. This is 16 by 16 LED flexible panel. These are the addressable LEDs. I still haven't played with it. Whip. But yeah, I will definitely be playing with it. One of the things that really, I as a kid, I lived in Russia for 5 years. No, it's a kid, yeah, but I was a university. I was going in Russia, and that's why I learned Russian. So while most of the people I watch on the YouTube are English speaking channels, I also watch a couple of Russian channels, and those guys are really crazy. And the projects they do, there is one guy called Alex MacGyver, and he really does crazy stuff. He's something like a bit loony, but Russian bit loony. It's a little bit different, but still has some similarities. And one of the projects he did was a 3D printed tube where this panel goes inside and it mimics flames. So you have like a flame something. So I will be working with that. The other thing is I have to thank Alexei from the Twitter. He really pointed me in the great direction. This is a project that I will be doing definitely this year. It will not be that cheap in terms of should you do it yourself or not. This is the Zigbee Geiger-Miller counter. So the same project I did last year for the Geiger-Miller counter connected to the ESP board. This one is using, let me show you. It's really great. It's really great. Modcom. Okay, this is Russian site. So DIY CO2, but Zigbee. So what I noticed on this site is a great difference. When we work on the projects, and Per knows it because he's working on ESP projects and I'm working on ESP projects, 8266, 32s we use for the LEDs. Hi Alan, hi, welcome. So we usually talk here about the ESP projects, and these guys are doing DIY Zigbee projects, and it's really great. I never thought of it. Sorry, but I never really thought of doing DIY Zigbee projects. You know, Arduino is great, you can work with Arduino, blah blah blah, but these guys, what we are doing with Arduino, they're doing with Zigbee boards. So this is the CO2 sensor for the Zigbee. This is the plant sensor, but Zigbee version. This is the first version. This is the Zigbee relay with 8 channels, so you can have 8-channel relay box with Zigbee. And this one is the Geiger-Miller counter with Zigbee. So if you have seen my video or you have seen those kits, and I did use the kit like this, it uses this one gives you option of using 2 simultaneous tubes because it improves accuracy. This board, as a matter of fact, 10 of those boards can be ordered for I'm talking here about PCB, not the PCB plus components. I'm just talking about PCBs. So for the $8 you get 10 boards, and yeah, there is a reason why I mentioned that. And This is DIY Zigbee Geiger-Miller counter that works with the Zigbee to MQTT. So everybody was joking 5-10 years ago how everything is much better with the Bluetooth. Now we are talking that everything is much better with Wi-Fi, but it looks like everything is much better with the Zigbee. So this is the project I will definitely be doing. I already have a bill of material. Yeah, it's not that cheap. It is cheap at the end, but when you look bulk of the components, for example, if you buy resistors or capacitors, you buy them in bulks of 50 or 100 minimum. This costs $1 for 100 or for 50, but you get for $1 that many. So you get a lot of materials that you have to buy in bulk. But also good thing is that all the more expensive components can be bought individually. The problem I'm having still is outsourcing those two components here. The Zigbee module itself can be bought for $4, and it can be programmed with a special device. So I will be it's not a special device. Very similar to the programmer for the for the CC2531 Zigbee sticks. Very similar, but it's not the same. I think that even you can use with some tinkering that programmer. So if you have that program, you can program this module. But really, it's such a great idea because, as they said, most of those things can now work with the Zigbee to MQTT, and which means that it has automatic. Hi Adi, welcome, nice joining you, and thanks for the first. So you can have it automatically appear inside Home Assistant, but that's not all. So this is one of the projects. They are saying here that they are exchanging ESP8266s to Zigbees. That's what I said. While we are still using this, they are converting to this. This is Zigbee inside the, how it's called? Yeah, well, you know. Hi, Lukas. Nice seeing you, and hi from Croatia. And the one other thing, if anybody is using Xiaomi gateway, what they did is they ripped up. Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm really stunned with the genius ideas they have. So if you have older version of Xiaomi gateway and you are having problem with the firmware, you are having problem with anything, what you can do, you can build your own. Really, they did it. I never opened it, so I don't know how it works, but it seems that this is the lower plate where the power supply, LEDs, speakers and things like that are, and this is the upper plate inside the Xiaomi gateway. So what they did, they designed their own upper plate. So you open it, remove this board here, order your own board. You can select if you want to use only Wi-Fi, you want to use Wi-Fi and the Zigbee. There are a couple of options that you can improve. One type of the Zigbee adapter or other type of Zigbee adapter. Print it, add components up, and you have something that looks like a original Xiaomi gateway, but it's not. Yeah, it's really they're crazy. I really, I catch myself sometimes fighting, how I would automate LED strip under the bed, and while I'm automating my LED strip, these guys are designing their own Xiaomi gateway to make it better. So with this gateway, you do not have any kind of problem with the tokens, anything. It's really funny. They even went one step further, I think, and somebody printed the lid, a new version of the lid, and they printed also the RGB or strips with the LED lights. You can see it. It's really funny. I'm sorry, I'm laughing too much. So this was really eye-opener to me, and why I mentioned this. Okay, free deck. So I have Stream Deck. I don't use it in the streams because I don't think that you would appreciate me changing voices to duck or ghost or something like that. But it's really cool. I use it for editing. Yeah, they really do, Lucas. They really do. It's crazy. It's really crazy. But as you can see, of course, just give me a second. I warned you, this is in Russia, but but it's so crazy. Remotes, look, DIY Zigbee remote. And I was looking at it, I was reading it, I cannot believe it. How? Okay, just give me a second. I have to change this. Okay, this should be it. It's really crazy. I'm sorry. What is it? So this is the Xiaomi, blah blah blah. Yeah, I was talking about this one. So there is a free deck project, and I did order touchscreen LCD panel 3.5 centimeters for the free deck project, and then I've seen this. Look, you get Zigbee free deck, universal remote, and the best thing, if I've read it correctly, it's modular, meaning that you can have 4 or no 8. Let's open it like that. You can see it here. I know. Yeah, so you can have 4, every line of 4. You can divide the plate, you can crack the plate, and you can have it running or add additional buttons. Where is it? It's really great. They are really, they really are, Alan. I said it's good thing that I did live there for a couple of years, so I know Russian pretty well, and it's no problem in reading it. But you know, it's like internet rabbit hole. You start reading on one thing and it just pulls you that way. Yeah. So these are some of the projects I will be working definitely this year, and I love this forum. I have to find additional forum. There is a limited quantity of the projects here, and probably I will find additional forums if I do. And I'm just a advertisement, sorry. I do post those links usually on my Discord server. I wouldn't say that it is the mostly populated place on the planet, but we do have some discussions and change of ideas there. So if you want, you can join. Okay, yeah, for that you also need a link, and the link for that I will get. Give me a second. Anytime I go to copy a link from the Discord server, I create new links. So I hate that. I want to use universal link, and I have one that doesn't expire, but this requires me to click a bit. Okay. This it does, Eddie. It definitely does. I do need it myself, because yeah, I went to university and learned about the economics. Nobody teach me anything about the electronics there, so I use it there a lot. But when I read the articles, I get the general idea. Then I have to translate something that I do not understand. So this is the Discord. So yeah, I post from time to time links, such stupid links, no stupid, great links, but in terms of what really people think of. When we are already on that, there is already discussion on the there. I started it today because I'm doing shopping around, and I was looking for not new, my first, but new. Yep. I'm currently in the process of, I wouldn't say buying, but I'm really close to buying the Vacumm RoboVac. So we are now having a discussion there. I asked anybody of the if they have any kind of experience with the smart models. My friend, I must thank him, he lent me one for testing, and I was testing for 2 weeks. Roomba, I think it's 770 or something, older, not very intelligent model, but working, and as a test device it really helped me to test it out and to see in what direction I want to go with the smart vacuum. So a lot of people are suggesting to go S5 Max way. Some are really happy with the Max V version. The price difference is not that big. It's currently also on sale in Croatia, so the price is just a little bit lower than this one. Eddie, yes, we had them around New Year. I didn't check. Yeah, it was crazy period. It was one day after they released Zigbee devices in Lidl one day after the earthquake, and in that period nobody was thinking about buying anything smart here. We were just waiting for the aftershocks, so I didn't buy. I know a couple of my friends bought some stuff, and I was disappointed because the price, from what I've seen, was not as low as it was in some other EU countries. As a matter of fact, it was very close to stuff I would go to IKEA, for example, for the lights. So I didn't buy anything. And at the same time, I've seen a couple of videos of people having issues with the devices. Those can be really bad luck stuff, something like lights stopped working and things like that, week after they were purchased. Yeah, of course you can exchange them, whatever, it's great, but don't get me wrong, I would rather have something working than having the ability to change it if it dies. If I have that ability, I would bet on that in a year 1+, not in a week 1+. And I hear that a lot of people are using it and they are very satisfied with the devices. So, but myself, I wasn't able to. I did have my eye on remote, I think, and there was additional thing. It was LED strip. I wanted to test. I think I don't remember, but we did have them, and I simply after that forgot that they were in the shops, and I still don't. I haven't checked if they are still in the shops or not, because they really keep the stock while it lasts. They do not restock and things like that. So I would probably go next week and check if there is something there. If I did find something and maybe the price is even a bit lower, then probably I would buy it. Yeah, which is a great reminder. I've replaced last week my third IKEA light, Zigbee light. So this is the third light that died, and one light, no, I'm lying, this is fourth light. So I have them over 3 years, I think, I'm not sure. Yeah, you didn't see the lights. Okay, yeah, probably sold. So I have IKEA lights on the downstairs floor for 3+ years, definitely 3+ years, and they started dying. 2 lights out of 3 in the kitchen died, so I had to replace 2 lights in the kitchen. In the living room, out of 2 lights, I had to replace 1, and 1 was in the corridor. So total of 4 lights, and what I've seen on all those lights is that all of those lights had large cracks on the bulb's neck. So the plastic that is wrapped around the electronics has cracked. But I mean, you can put your nail inside without a problem from the bulb there to the metal end of the light bulb. So I was really surprised to see it, but I exchanged it with the new ones, and there are some differences. For example, in the living room I have 2 overhead lights. There is a newer light like this. There is a newer light and older light. I have to really mirror my cameras because I hate it like this. So on the left side I have newer light. When wakes up, it has lower intensity than the right one, which always wakes up with the 100% intensity. Both are 1000 lumens, but the newer is a bit warmer than the older. So there are differences. The light itself is much lighter, so the bulb itself is much lighter than the first model. And mind you, I did have really first LEDs from the IKEA. What I wanted to talk. So yeah, we started discussion on the Discord about the robot vacuums. If you have your idea or suggestion for them, I really would like to hear it. As I said, I'm currently leaning towards one or the other of these two models. This one I'm looking simply because this S6 Max V, I'm looking simply because I think that it can prevent some accidents I had with the older one, with the other one, cables lying on the floor. So the idea for me is, if it would save me from having issues with the cables, it will be worth extra money. And this one really has everything you need. So if I don't go for people will talk about the carpets. We do not have carpets. I have a couple of small carpets in the apartment. My floor is a hardwood floor everywhere, except the bathrooms and toilets and things like that, where it's ceramics. So for me, deep carpet cleaning is not something I'm interested. I'm interested in mopping, I'm interested in vacuuming, and for the wooden floors, those two have almost the same characteristics. Thanks, Eddie. So I'm currently in the process of buying it, and then I will be in the process of integrating it inside Home Assistant, as always. As I said, still, I don't know if anybody from Tesla is watching this stream or not, but I really would like to test your car and integrate inside Home Assistant. I think that this big screen inside Tesla car is really screaming Lovelace. So yeah. Okay. Alan, don't talk about creation posts, please. Please don't talk about creation post. Since it's pandemic, last week I was working from home. I do have time, but on the other hand, I do not have that much time in a one piece or one shot. I decided to not go and buy something, but to order it. And this is coming from the Zabok. And Alan, you know how far Zabok is from Zagreb. I think it's from the center of town. It can be 30-40 minutes by car, so it's really not that far. And I did usually go to that shop by car. The road is not that great, but nevertheless, yeah. I ordered the package at noon. At 2 o'clock I received info that my package has been handed over, so I went to tracking site and it says 13:02 p.m. package announced, 13:04 p.m. package received, and that's the last status. So from the Thursday yeah, it could be. So from Thursday I have package sitting in a post office Zagreb, which is, I don't know, I don't even know, 20 kilometers from here, 18 kilometers air distance, so something like that. It's been sitting in that office for the last 3 days now. Yeah, and I thought that ordering it would be a good idea. And by the way, I ordered new mic. I really want to improve sound for both my stream and for the video recording. And I ordered the Behringer mic. I have Behringer preamp for the voice. So probably by the next stream, which will be in March, I'll get a new mic. It's really terrible. It's terrible. I don't know about the people quitting in the sorting office, but it's really not working. It's really not working as it should work. So I have to sip. Oh yeah, because I always forget that I do a lot of, no, I don't do a lot. I do some projects, and I buy a bunch of weird stuff like 3D printer or these LEDs or LED panels, solar panels or things like that. But I am also working on to improve the video quality, editing quality, my skills. Today I had a photo shoot. Yeah, it lasted a long time. I did a couple of hundred photos. I will be changing all the video thumbnails. I will not be doing any more thumbnails like this. I will be doing other types of thumbnails, but most probably you're not interested in that. But what I also changed is something that is, I've been trying to buy something for 3 or 4 months now, and let's go like this. And I bought it. Camera, I don't see anything. Okay. So you don't see it, but this is now behind me. It gives me much better. It gives me better ability to eliminate the background. It's very fast to set up. I did record setting it up, and it was unboxing. I will not be releasing that video because people are really not interested in that. But I record everything, so I recorded also that. Full unboxing was as long as it takes me, shorter than it takes me to set up my whole setup with the green screen. So I ordered this one. But the problem is, okay, let's go to shop and see under maintenance. It's always, I don't know, let's go to Austria, MediaMarkt. So as you can see, it's 100 and it ranges in the price 129 up to 150 euros. And I was really trying to get it somewhere, and I couldn't get it anywhere. I was looking on Amazon, Germany. I usually buy stuff from there, and I couldn't get it. So it took me 4 months to buy this, and I at the end paid over 200 euros to get it. It's really crazy, and we should be like, yeah, European Union, we are one market and everything. We are one market, but with different pricing and different availability, unfortunately. So yeah, so as I was saying, I have to really be careful because while I'm also doing the projects, the ESP projects, the future Zigbee projects, I don't know, whatever projects, I'm trying to improve my automations, buy stuff for reviews. I'll talk about it in a second. I also have to buy equipment and stuff for the recording and for me to be able to do what I'm doing here. So the microphone was the next thing. I also have to buy one additional light because, as you can see, I have sun on this side and I have shadow on this side, and because of that I have to keep this on 100%, and it's really hard to record, talk, because you have really small sun just shining in your eyes here. So no, I'm not saying anything negative here, but I just have to be careful how I divide my finances to not bankrupt before my 50th birthday or something like that. Yeah, so I have to juggle my investments and how I sped up the projects. And while I already mentioned at the start of the stream, 2 things I also wanted to mention today. Just a second. Let me find here. Okay, this is my main setup. This is this one. Yeah, I know, but this one, let's call it, already has softbox, but because I have to overcompensate, only because I only have one light, I have to compensate with the intensity of that light to overcome the fact that I do not have the other light. So that's the problem here. So this softbox really just improves the glow of everything. Let me switch to my main setup. I have to be careful. One stream I had to remove from the YouTube because some data slipped that I didn't want it to slip. So yeah. Okay. Okay. This is add-on store. I don't know if you see here something strange, maybe. Yep. There are now two Home Assistant add-ons Zigbee to MQTT. This one and this one. So currently, so meaning at today at 6th of February, everybody who's using Zigbee to MQTT is using the same version that I did use up until yesterday. And this is still the official version. I think that this is this one. Yes, this is the one. And if you go to here, it would take you to the whatever was the previous Zigbee to MQTT repository. But in couple of days, weeks, this will be official repository. As you can see, it currently is lagging behind the official. It usually is updated 1 to 2 days after the old repository was updated. So the idea was to move it to a special GitHub repository now called github.zigbee to MQTT / and then we have add-on version. Because the last GitHub repository was on the somebody's name. It was not based on the, let's call it like project name, but it was tied to person's name, which is great, but also normally then this person is the owner of the project, and if he stops supporting the project dies. So this is a better way on how to spin off the project into individual repositories and allow then contributors to have more freedom, I would say, like that, or something like that. So currently there are not a lot of versions, but just bear in mind that at some point you may need to switch from one version to the other. Because I'm not on the, I was on the version 1.17.1 with all repository. I had different look. As I see now, OTA has been moved from here to separate menu, but it's still not updated in this version I'm currently running. So yeah, the problem with this is that, as you can see, so I have 4 lights, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4 lights that have updates, and I cannot update them. If I press here, you can see that it fails because there is a problem with the image. And if I go to supervisor, this version here, configuration, you will see that this one has option called IKEA OTA use test URL, and it's set to true, and it's still not working in the version I'm using. It should be available very soon. So anybody who has IKEA lights can now force the use of test servers from the IKEA, and those firmwares are stable and usually are not better. Public servers have sometimes corrupted firmwares. I don't know why, but the test servers really have working versions. So this is very important for people that have IKEA lights. No, Lucas to say it like that. No, I do not have. I did study this. I did look at it. There is a HACS component. Let me just switch to my test setup. Yeah, but I have to switch here also. This one, HACS, integrations, and there is a remote home assistant. So it's called remote, but it really is for two Home Assistants working at the same home. As he says here, he's using it so that you can have different Z-Wave or Zigbee networks inside your home. One can be master, the other one can be slave. And everything from slave is pulled into the master. And for example, if connection is lost, then the master knows that those devices are currently unavailable. So I think that I would say that this is the best bet how to get it done. I've seen some other stuff, people using MQTT to bridge this, but I really do think that this is the best option there is for multiple Home Assistants running in one home. I was trying to set it up with different homes, so I have this connected to my summer house, but unfortunately the quality of the link is terrible, and we already had in a couple of streams talk about the quality of internet links, so I will not be talking about that today. And because of that, it would simply not work for me. Sorry, not fast enough to mute the mic. Okay, wow. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk is some of the projects I will be doing. So as I mentioned, I will be doing the LEDs. I will definitely keep on working on this 3D printer. It's not 3D, it is 3D printer in terms of I did 3D print it. And for all of you that miss them, this is the gadget here. Do you hear the sound of the printer? No, my internet connection here in the apartment, I cannot say anything. There are options in some parts of the city for the 1 gigabit network, but I'm on 200 megabits fiber optics, so I have no problem. But my summer house is a problem. It has peak of download speed of 5 megabits and upload is up to 0.5, meaning Eddie, yeah, it really depends. When you, for example, if you go to seaside and you have 4G or even now already 5G, you will have no problem on the seaside, ports, all those areas there. But and in the city, center of the city, and mostly it's covered perfectly. But for example, there was one spot in my apartment where I had issues with my mobile operator, so at the end I changed my mobile phone operator because of that. Mostly it is really well covered, urban areas, highways, even sea, because yeah, at one point they were advertising Croatia as a sailing destination, so they were really, you could go to open sea and have great internet connection there. But on the other hand, if you would go to Petrinja or somewhere around here, which is a small town, then you will have no internet, something like that. ER. And what's your idea, Johnny? To have it as a so to have it as a infrared blaster to control the TV and projector. Okay, I didn't look about that one. I will check a couple of things on the internet and see if I can find something. But anything that has support, I think that ESP Home has support for infrared, if I've seen it correctly. We can also check that out. Yeah, I will check. I don't know. I've never played with the infrared. I hate infrared. That's why I'm trying. A lot of people are buying this, how it's called, remote RM Pro 500, 400, whatever, those infrared blasters. And yeah, so that's the issue, Eddie. That's the issue. If you would go to Trogir, in Trogir you wouldn't have Broadlink. Yeah, Alan, great. That's the problem in Trogir. I'm there every summer, and signal there is great until the tourists come in. So this year we didn't have problem because of the pandemics, unfortunately, but yeah. I tried Broadlink at early stage, meaning when I started setting up Home Assistant, one of my colleagues from the work gave me to test. It was RM Mini, I think, and I wasn't happy with it. So I will check, Johnny. I will definitely check. I think that ESP Home. Let me. I'm not. We can do it like this. I think that devices. No. Let me try to see. ER remote climate. So there it is. If you are using setting up infrared devices, setting up RF devices, transmitter, you connect it to the pin, and then you create here switch. You would need to get this, but I think that you can put it in a receiver. Yeah, you can put it in a receiver and then just start pressing buttons. So definitely you can use it with the ESP8266, which is really cheap board, and then use this transmitter. Let me just check what kind of transmitter this is. There isn't anything here. They really have great documentation sometimes, but I hate when they do not link the devices. No. It's just diode. It isn't anything else. Okay. Then it's very cheap component. Then it's very cheap. Yeah. So definitely it's supported internally, so it shouldn't be a problem. You just put it in a receiving state to receive the codes, something similar as adding, for example, how I added the Xiaomi Mosquito with the Bluetooth. It just listens to the codes, you copy the code and create switch from that code, and that should be it. Yeah, what I wanted to talk is about some of other future videos. So everybody who's seen my videos knows that I love Shelly, and I do have to say that Shelly is really not paying me anything. They didn't send me any device. All the devices I tested here are my purchases. I spent my money, and my wife definitely can vouch for that. She's seen my credit card. So I bought a lot of no, not a lot. So I made a decision to buy not that large quantity of those devices every month, meaning that every month now I'll be receiving a couple of devices, and there are 2 devices that will be coming next. And because of my idea on recording as much Shelly devices as there are, I decided to also create sub playlist on the channel. So now I'll be creating one additional sub list. It will be called Shelly Home Automation, and all the videos that will be related to the Shelly devices will be there. So currently I think I have 3 videos. I will be receiving one else, and I will be recording on how you can implement it as a light switch and a vent switch. Then I ordered Shelly Unis. Those are the small boards that allow you to intercept signal, two signals or pair of signals from one side, and do action on the other side. I think I will be trying, this is a project that will take a little bit longer, but I will be definitely working on that, to make my dumb dumb doorbells smarter. It's strange. So I live in a building, an apartment building. So downstairs we have, you know, that board with the names. When you press the button, and then you have a handset, and you talking on it, push the button to open the door. It buzzes on one bell. Then when you come to our floor, there is a additional door that separates the elevator and stairs area from apartments, plural, where you have additional doorbell where you can ring on my name, and there is a different bell that rings for that. And for some of the reason, the architects decided that there will be also a good idea to have a third button in front of our door, where you cannot reach the door because you have to step through two doors before that. So even if somebody leaves the main door inside the building open, you still have to walk through additional doors. So you can simply, there is no way that this will happen. But so I have three doorbells in terms of buttons. I have two doorbells in terms of bells, and I have one headset. So I will try to, I don't know, do something with that, remove doorbells or make them work in such a way that they are ringed, but not directly by a push button, but through Home Assistant. So when you press the button, signal will go to Home Assistant, then decide if this is night, day, if we are home or not. And if we are home and it's decent hours and whatever, it would probably ring or probably not, or I can push that to, I don't know, text to speech, Google devices, whatever. So that's why I bought Google Uni devices. Also in my shopping cart are push buttons from Shelly, some other Shelly ones and whatevers, Shelly UV light. I'm waiting now for 10th and the release of the Shelly motion sensor, and I'm also waiting for the smoke sensor. So each of those will be separate video with how-tos, ideas how you can implement them and things like that. So as I said, as there will be a lot of topics and everything will be related to Shelly's on one side and Home Assistant on the other side, I just said, okay, for everybody that is interested in their products, I will create a special playlists. They will be still released in the Home Assistant how-to series, but yeah. Also, when on that subject, as I said, I've had a photo shoot today. I will be replacing, starting, I don't know, from this week's or some other week, I will start to replace my thumbnails for the videos with the new ones. When I started working on the channel, I said, okay, I really do not care about... yeah, definitely, I agree with you. I don't know. When we started, before we moved into this apartment, we renovated it completely, and I ordered team. I had a friend who has a company that's working also with electricity. Yeah, I know that. We also have some. I don't know why, but we also have in the New Zagreb. Johnny, I really do hope. Just kidding. Yeah, but when we started renovating the apartment, we hired everybody, and I got crew that was doing. I had crew doing me UTP network. So guys were doing electricity plus the cabling, category 6 for the apartment, because I was really picky on what to do. Those guys were my friends, but also those guys are working on a beach project such as IKEA. So I had about, in an apartment that's less than 100 square meters, I had 6 electricians working there. Probably the same amount that works in IKEA when they're opening the store. And they ripped everything out except the bells. So they just came in, they ripped everything out, all the fuses, all the cables, everything. And then they reached my intercom and the buzzers, and they said, listen, how this works. It was like one transformer with 17 wires going in all directions. Also, we had in apartment emergency button in a bathroom and in the sleeping room that would ring on the third bell downstairs. and it's all interconnected. So they just said, no, you don't want to see that. Cable management is not my specialty. So we replaced everything except this doorbell system. And now it's time to tackle it, because those are really, really old doorbell. When I will be replacing them, you will see in video, they were even scared, so they painted, when guys were painting and doing the walls, they painted around them. They removed them and painted around the wires, everything. And during the earthquake, one of the bells, the screw got out and it fell down. So you can see the difference where everything is new, brand new, shiny, and the part of the old, everything there. So yeah, it will be really interesting to do that project. Johnny, I am in my work. I travel. Okay, so I didn't travel anywhere for a year and a half, but I do travel, and one of the places where sometimes my work carries me was Bulgaria, Sofia, and I had one idea and was really hoping to do that in 2020, because Shelly is also from the Bulgaria, from Sofia, and I usually go there by car, and I go everywhere by car. So I was really planning to stop at their place and to meet up with them and to record video tour of the facility, to talk with the guys, the ideas and everything. And it would be really fun for me to see. I love those how it's made videos but pandemics, yeah. Hopefully this year in 2021 I will be able to go there. I have a client. Well, I didn't see him a long time. I have a client in Sofia, so maybe I will be able to do that. It would be really, really, really fun. And sponsor of today's video. No, it's not sponsor, sorry. No, it's not Shelly. Just remember something. Okay. So it's 7:46. Is there something else I wanted to mention? I will probably, when we end the stream, I'll probably remember 101 thing that I wanted to mention, say, and yeah. So I really love those factories. Who said? Friend of ours was yesterday in a factory that is doing what they're doing. Oh, they're doing the windows and doors, but from the special type of timber with the aluminium, and it's really thick and heavy. They do not have market here in Croatia. They sell those things for the retrofitting inside the older buildings in Berlin and Hamburg and things like that. They can do arches and everything. So it's great when they are redoing old heritage building style types, blah blah blah, whatever. And he was talking about it. I said, "Oh, can I go there? Can I go in the factory just to see how they're making windows?" I know that I was happy as a. Okay, I really am like hamster. Sorry. I will slow down now and talk more slowly. I'm just kidding. I cannot. So. My work at one point brought me to a factory that's doing socks in Calcedonia. It's an Italian company. They are in on the north of Croatia. And I was in a factory and it was really, really funny to see how every type of sock in the world starts. So they can be small socks, they can be nylon socks, they can whatever. It was like fascinating. I never did anything with that client, but I was so grateful for ability to see the factory, to be on the factory floor. All my life I've been working in IT, around IT, in telecoms and things like that. And I remember when my oldest daughter was a young kid, she was like 4 or 5, and asked me, "Dad, what you're doing?" And I was talking, "Can you show me?" I said, "No, sorry, nothing. All I do really doesn't exist. All I sell doesn't exist." So I'm really happy with those projects when I have the ability to make something by hand, or when somebody is doing physically something, just like sitting in a keyboard and typing. Okay, as usual, after 1 hour and 50 minutes, my throat is starting to kill me. For beer, homemade beer, I cannot. I had idea. I wanted to make I love beer. I really love drinking beer, good beer. Unfortunately, not beer connoisseurs would be ashamed of me. in terms of what I call good beer, but I consider good beer if it doesn't fall hard on my stomach, if I can, in the summer, you know, it cannot be light as a Bud Light or something like that. It has to have flavor, it has to have everything, but I don't want to be hard. When I was younger, I was drinking Kilkenny. I love that it is definitely. I love Belgian beers, so I was drinking Kilkenny, but I find it to be too hard for my stomach. So I like to drink beer, and at one point I even wanted to make my own beers, but I'm already making my own yogurts, making my own air sensors, making my own. I don't know what. I simply cannot. I can. There is no place to put that project anywhere. So I'm like spores. You know, whole apartment is filled with gadgets everywhere, and to have small beer distillery or brewing or whatever, yeah, it would be just too much. Okay, let me have sip of this. We can talk about that offline. Yeah, there is a story, but I will not go that direction. Okay. Okay, I will say something now that people who love beers will probably call blasphemy, but one of my friends, unfortunately, not unfortunately, he was a colleague of mine, but then he quit the job and went to the other employee, and that other employee was Karlovačka Pivovara, which is owned by Heineken, which I know a lot of people think that this is too commercial of a beer, but okay, and unfortunately he invited me a couple of times to go and visit the factory, and I never managed to you know, divert from my trip somewhere to visit it, but it would be really nice to see beer factory. We have here, I don't know if it's still I think it's still working, Zagrebačka Pivovara, Zagreb Beer Brewing Company. It's a couple of blocks from here where I live, but I also didn't manage to go there and see anything. Lee, thank you. We will be definitely in contact. Thank you for visiting, and I hope that you did get the answer for the thermal printer. As I said, Eddie, I know that beer lovers will definitely not appreciate that, but yeah, I have to admit that no matter what quality of the beer, I really would like to see that process live. I just love seeing stuff and feeling how it works and how it's done. And yeah, I should probably be wrapping up too, because my family is eagerly waiting to turn on the volume on the TV. Hopefully next time, by the next stream, I will have a new mic. And thank you very much for joining. I hope that you had fun here. The purpose of the stream is to be fun, and I know that you didn't learn anything new, but then again, this is the wrong address if you wanted to learn something new. I'm just kidding. I really do hope that you had fun and that we touched some of the topics that you were interested in. Next stream will probably be in the 1 month. I'm trying now to. I don't like it's too long period for me. I would really have to have more frequent stream, but then on the other hand, it's also nice to know in advance when the next stream will be. And as I said, my next stream should be 3 days after the new release of Home Assistant. So Home Assistant is released first Wednesday of the month, and the stream is first Saturday of that month. Yeah. Thank you very much, Eddie. I really hope that I will be seeing you here again. Thank you. You definitely should finish your videos. I will not be finishing them for you. I'm having trouble with that man of mine. No, thank you. I really do hope that wow, Adi. But I do still watch Dr. Ziz, and I really do like his videos. Although for the last couple of streams he was talking too much on one subject and it was just too much for me. No problem, Alan. We always have time to talk about that. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. By the way, everything working for you? Just wanted to see if everything is working. Thank you, Xavier. Thanks everybody for stream. Thank you, Murat. If you have any kind of a comment or question, I really would like to thank you for visiting. And you can always find me in the Discord. You can leave the comment in the comment section of the video. I hate comments of the section of the video because I cannot put copy and paste there parts of the thing. So it's much easier to communicate if you have any kind of issue over on the Discord. Yeah, too much about the LEDs lately for me. Next on display. Okay, Andreas, fair enough. Thank you, everybody. And I will be seeing you next time. Thanks for joining once again. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.